Today's lesson is Jesus' farewell prayer for his disciples and for those who believe through them. That would mean us. He prays for us. As you, Father, are in me, and I am in you, may they also be in us, that they may be one, as we are one, I in them and you in me, that they may become completely one. It sounds a little, to me, like Russian nesting dolls, doesn't it? You open the God doll, and there's Jesus. You open Jesus, and there you and I are. Inside our doll is Jesus again, and inside that doll we find God yet again. Christ is in God, and God is in Christ. We are in Christ, and he is in us. Richard Rohr writes about the universal Christ. To Rohr, the universal Christ is the everlasting presence of God's Spirit in all creation. To Rohr, creation was the original incarnation of the Spirit. As part of creation, we are part of that original incarnation. We are in creation, and creation is in us. We are in the universal Christ, and it is in us. Matthew Fox, an Episcopal priest, was the first to articulate this new creation theology. And to me, creation theology gives today's lesson clarity. I can now see the universal Christ in myself. I am in the Christ, and this Christ is in me, and what's more, I can see this Christ in all creation. I can see it in you. In fact, I see it everywhere I go. During Lent, Micah Greenstein preached at Calvary. He preached about Rohr's universal Christ, but being a Jew, he didn't use the word Christ. No, he used a phrase from the Torah. He said, we carry the image of God given to us at creation, and the image of God in us should respect the image of God in all humans, regardless of faith. To Greenstein, the image of God is a universal characteristic we share. A Jew like Greenstein calls it the image of God. A Christian like Fox and Rohr call it the universal Christ. I have felt this Christ in other places. I practice yoga. As our practice ends, we sit with our hands in prayer. The instructor says, thank you for sharing your practice with me. Then we bow and say, Namaste. Namaste, an ancient Sanskrit word meaning the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. Or one could say, the Christ in me recognizes the Christ in you. Or the image of God in me sees the image of God in you. I have stumbled on this Christ in even other places. Neil deGrasse Tyson, an astrophysicist, teaches that after the Big Bang, there were only two elements in the universe, helium and hydrogen. They coalesced into stars, and all the other elements of the periodic table were forged inside the furnace of those ancient stars. Eons later, there became supernovae, exploding their new elements into the universe, forming more stars, planets, solar systems, and galaxies. Every atom in our bodies was once within one of those primordial stars. We are made of stardust, Tyson says. We have the origins of the universe within us. We are in the universe, and the universe is in us. It gives the expression, from dust we came and to dust we must go, an entirely different meaning. We might as well say, from stardust we came, and to stardust we must go. As a straight man, when I see a gay man, I say to myself, the Christ in me can see the Christ in him. When we see someone of a different religion, let the image of God in us acknowledge the image of God in them. When people's politics are different from ours, let the divine in us recognize the divine in them. When we encounter other races, let us remember that we are made of the same stardust. Seeing the Christ in ourselves and in others changes us, connects us, transforms us. Perhaps in this way, as the gospel says, we can become one with one another and one with God. May the Christ in me see the Christ in you. May the image of God in me acknowledge the image of God in you. May the divine in me recognize the divine in you. And in this way, may we become one with the Father, one with the Christ, and one with each other. Namaste.